Welcome to the Writers Clinic, coming to you from Kahawa Sukari Estate, Kahawa Sukari Avenue, 1335. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the art of writing for teenagers. Are you planning to write for teenagers? I think the first step is to understand them. Generally, we consider teenagers restless, adventurous, often reckless, and rebellious. Teenagers confess that their parents do not understand them. Teenagers ask tough questions about the structures that govern society. This is because they are going through a stage where they want to define their identity. They advance arguments that may not be in line with our adult thinking. They challenge social values that we have all along subscribed to. But more importantly, teenagers want to find meaning in life. But rather than condemn them, I think we need to help them. This is why literature becomes important. Consumption of good literature that focuses on their predicament is very important. Let us first appreciate the importance of this segment of our population. Teenagers comprise a critical mass of our population. Out of 47 million Kenyans, teenagers could roughly comprise over 10 million people. This population needs books and entertainment that satisfy their restless thoughts. Technology has, of course, introduced new forms of entertainment, and writers have to adapt to new technologies and offer their stories on these new platforms. I think one thing remains constant. Good stories will always sell, and good stories that take into consideration the predicament of this segment of our population will always appeal to them and will always help them confront the realities of their lives. You, however, cannot write anything interesting for teenagers if you do not understand them. Never. If you are not a teenager, but you want to write for them, then you have to study them and acquire enough knowledge of the psychology of teenagers. You have to know what they like and what they hate. This is not an easy job. It is definitely going to take a lot of energy trying to appreciate what this segment of our population prefer, what kind of experiences they are going through, and how they can be helped to come out the predicaments that they find themselves in. The universal rule is that you can only write for a certain group of people if you have a message for them. So, before you start to write for this special audience, it is useful to ask yourself if you are truly concerned about them. This means that you need to establish a close working relationship with them. In fact, they should be your first readers of the manuscripts, even before you send these manuscripts to publishers. This is what young writers forget to do and end up annoying their editors and readers. You can only discover you have the gift of writing for teenagers if you try. The best way of starting is to remember your years as a teenager. Can you recall some of the nasty things you did with other boys and girls? Can that experience you went through help today's teenagers cope with their life challenges? I can confess that most of the books I've written for teenagers really come from remembering my own experiences as a teenager. Always remember that teenagers ask tough questions, especially revolving around relationships with the opposite sex. You may also want to address teenage delinquents and the crisis of female genital mutilation, since it happens to girls within this age bracket. You may want to depict the problematic nature of teenagers or teenage relationships with their parents, but with a clear message to them. The best passport to failure is to attempt to cheat teenagers with pedantic, preachy messages from a doctrine they do not subscribe to. This is the age that looks down upon preachy messages that reflect Sunday school teaching. They want excitement at every moment. And this is why you must write, if you have to write for teenagers, something exciting, something that is going to appeal to their problematic situations. And above all, you must be honest with the teenagers. Finally, I should only say one thing. Attempt to write for teenagers if you know who they are. And on that note, we come to the end of Writer's Clinic, in which we focused on the art of writing for children. On behalf of my crew, Neka and Pambi, I would like to welcome you again and again to Kahawa Sukari Estate, Kahawa Sukari Avenue, 1335, for more interesting episodes of the Writer's Clinic.